Welcome to the WanderLearn Show. I'm your host, Tapon. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays 2023. In this episode, I'm going to have a PSA, which is a public service announcement for all the people who are flying over the holidays and those especially who are traveling with babies, infants, toddlers, those little creatures that drive everybody crazy on the plane. The purpose of this episode is to give 8 tips to those who are traveling with such little creatures and make life wonderful for not just the little babies, but also the parents as well as the fellow passengers. So here are my 8 tips on how to get through, and this is not from my personal experience because I don't have any children that I know of, and so this is more about things that I just researched and heard about. Also, I want to talk about what's coming down the pipe in 2024. I've got some exciting episodes packed. So at the very end of the year, I do my annual predictions, which are surprisingly popular. Not that I'm always accurate. In fact, I'm often not. And by the way, the whole exercise is to prove that I'm usually wrong about everything in life. And this particular year, I'll be making my predictions for 2024. So that's coming up in the final episode of the year. Then in January, we're going to have several podcasts that are already lined up. 2 of them are going to be about the Drakensberg Traverse. I'm going to be interviewing Brad Graff and Sam Slyman, who I'd interviewed last year, or actually earlier this year, about their trip to the Drakensberg Traverse. And now I talked to them after they actually completed it. And it was a hellish journey for them. And you got to hear all about it. It's going to be a fun 2-episode podcast. I also have Gary Arndt, who's been on the show several times. He's going to be back. He's the guy who has the podcast Everything Everywhere Daily, one of my favorite podcasts. And then I'm going to have one of my favorite guests. I think it's going to be one of my best guests ever. I've already had him on, but it's the 2024 perhaps best podcast. It's going to be with François-Xavier Paradis-Garneau. He is a guy who I interviewed when he went around Afghanistan. He was the first guy to go through Afghanistan after the Taliban took over. Well, I'm going to be interviewing him about his trek across the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. So those are all shows that I've got lined up, and then I'm going to have some more little episodes, probably me whining about certain phrases that we shouldn't use. That was a popular little short segments because I really had to focus on getting my book out this year. And so by having short episodes, I'm going to be able to have more free time to actually work on my book. And that's the idea behind that. All right, with that long introduction, let's get into the 8 tips for flying with a tiny tornado, a survival guide for parents and other passengers. Toddlers, the tiny humans with a volume knob cranked to 11 and the attention span of a goldfish on Red Bull. So, you're brave enough to take one on a plane? Buckle up, buttercup. But fear not, weary warrior. Here is your arsenal for surviving or maybe even enjoying an airborne adventure with your mini-me. Here are the 8 tips. Number 1, book direct flights. Booking direct flights is like finding the secret passage in a video game. 1 entry, minimal fuss. Aim for non-stop odyssey. Fewer disturbances mean fewer chances for your tiny traveler to unleash their vocal cords midair. Number 2, connecting flights should have a longer than normal layover. For those facing the unavoidable layover quest, fear not. Seek connections with longer layovers. 2 to 3 hour layovers is the sweet spot for parental peace. A break for a toddler to stretch, tire out, and possibly snooze on the second leg. The purpose of extended layovers is that air pressure may alter the ears of the baby, making them fussy. As adults, we manage to handle this change in air pressure, but babies cannot. Therefore, they start screaming. If you have a longer layover, it will allow the baby to settle down. Secondly, it will give them time to stretch their body and get themselves tired. Number 3, utilize the pre-boarding facility. Get in before the stampede of luggage and confused tourists. Let your offspring claim the throne of their airplane kingdom before the peasants arrive. Just promise you won't use a microphone to announce their nap schedule. Number 4, pack a baby bag separately. Think of Mary Poppins's carpet bag filled with enough snacks, wipes, and distractions to rival a Disney theme park. Diapers? Pack more than you think, then triple it. Trust us. A poopnado at 30,000 feet is not a good look. So your little bag should include diapers, rash cream, extra set of clothes, snacks, milk bottles, and toys. You should always keep extra diapers in your hand carry even if the flight is as short as an hour. You never know when your baby might soil your diaper, which can get extremely uncomfortable. Keeping some snacks in your bag can keep your baby busy for some time. Number 5, dress them comfortably. Dress your tyke for the runway of comfort. No puffer jackets or haute couture discomfort, please. Loose-fitted clothes are the fashion-forward choice. Remember, a comfortable toddler is a happy toddler, and a happy toddler is a quieter one. Number 6, book a separate seat for the baby. Secure a kingdom for your little royalty, a separate seat for the tiny traveler. A car seat fortress ensures safety and grants you respite from the lap monarchy. Buckle up, little one, for the journey of a lifetime. Number 7, check in baby gear at gate. Leave strollers, car seats, and inflatable T-Rexes for the ground crew. Trust us. You'll have enough to juggle without becoming a circus act with a carry-on the size of a small car. Number 8, bring something for entertainment. Distraction is your weapon. Tablets loaded with cartoons? Check. Finger puppets that tell Shakespearean sonnets? Why not? Anything to keep those tiny eyes glued to something other than the screaming lady in seat 12B. And there you have it, intrepid parent, a guide to your toddler's travel saga into a comedy of errors, laughter, and a few well-earned victories. May your flights be smooth, your snacks abundant, and your toddler's giggles the soundtrack to your epic adventures. Safe travels. And safe travels to you guys. Thank you guys again for subscribing to my podcast, listening to it, and sharing it with other people. This is Francis Tapon encouraging you to wander and learn. And when you do it with a baby, follow those 8 tips. Thanks. And that ends this episode of the WanderLearn podcast, where we explore travel, technology, and transformation. If you'd like to see the show notes with links to what we've talked about, go to wanderlearn.com and click on this episode. If you'd like to connect with me, just remember Tapon. That's my first initial and my last name. Tapon is always my social media username. My website is ftapon.com. Do you want to leave me an anonymous voicemail where you can make a comment or ask a question? Then go to speakpipe.com/ftapon. Furthermore, if you'd like to get rewarded for supporting my projects, then go to patreon.com/ftapon. That's where you can pick up some remarkable rewards for as little as $2 a month. Now, 5 quick favors. Number 1, subscribe to the WanderLearn podcast. 2, download it. 3, share it. 4, review it. And 5, sign up for my newsletter at wanderlearn.com. Our theme music was composed by Eric Stratman. This is Francis Tapon encouraging you to wander and learn.